This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
This is Wrestling with Entertainment, talking to Madi The American Badi.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it is a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Madi The American Badi. How are you, Madi?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It hasn't stopped raining for 2 days, but,
Same here.
yeah, for rain, not as fun as people might think.
No, we just got over some snow and now we got rain.
So trading one evil for another.
Right.
Could you tell us what you have coming up event-wise?
Yes, we have actually, I've expanded going around the world a little bit more. I have, you'll catch me in Indiana in March. And then I've got Tupelo Comic-Con coming up as well. I'll be there. You can always catch me on EPW TV. I film there once or twice a month, so I'm on about every episode you'll see. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at my name. All of my TV episodes are also on YouTube, although we are streaming in Alabama now. And that's pretty much it. We got Indiana and that stuff coming up. We got a couple Comic-Cons coming up. We did WrestleCade this past year, which was a huge experience. So hopefully get to do more things like that this year. We stay pretty booked up, so.
Oh, yeah. And where can we find your merchandise?
My merchandise, I don't have it online. A lot of people will, I'll post, like if I have a new t-shirt or whatever, I'll post on my Facebook or my Instagram and let people know that all they have to do is comment or message me and they can get an order through there, and I ship pretty much anywhere. I've done a lot through that. And of course, any event that I'm at, I always have, t-shirts, stickers, pictures, autographs, take pictures with me. So I really don't have a website. I just kind of, when I get new stuff in, I'll post it and people order through me. So
okay.
I am working on a website though currently for me, so that whenever I do have that, I will announce that for sure.
All right. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. All right. Let's get into it. You work for EPW. Can you tell us about your relationship with that company?
I started about 2 years ago. I went there to watch a show, and I had watched, Monday Night Raw as a kid, but I never really knew anything about wrestling, didn't know anybody, hadn't really watched anything. And I went to the show, and, I had a really great experience. I seen some good people. I seen some good women, and, kind of with that, I seen the way, kids and other people were admiring these women. I really wanted to do it. So I contacted, my trainer is Trace Lee Hunt, best trainer in my opinion. But he, I contacted him and I was just like, I think I would really like this, but I would just like to see. My training experience was wonderful. The amount of support from him and from, the boys, we call it, in the back, they had so much support because they, you can always tell when someone's kind of meant for the business. And so, I kind of fit right in with all of them there. And I started doing shows, and then, they got TV, and, had a couple episodes on there, and they turned out really well, and now I'm a fan favorite. So it's really good. It's humbling. You know, they'll always be my home show, and they'll always treat me like family. So I feel like I have to give credit to, of course, my trainer and that company as well, because a lot of people that have booked me is because they seen me on their TV show.
Right. And like you said, they do TV. Is that do you kind of look at that as maybe having an advantage on, other new coming wrestlers, because you are featured every week on a TV show that, people know where to find you, where, independent wrestling could be a little bit more scarce of where people can find, other wrestlers.
Yes, I definitely think it's an advantage getting to be on TV, just because, back then wrestling, it was all about, it still is about who you know, and, you're there at the right moment, the right time, but social media and getting to be filmed is the ticket for anybody nowadays to get anywhere. People didn't used to have it to where you could just look me up on Instagram and see everything. If you weren't talked about by people, nobody knew you. So right. I definitely think the TV is such a big advantage for me, because almost, like I said, 90% of my bookings are because we seen you on TV. So, it's definitely more of an advantage than people who don't get that opportunity or haven't yet. So I would definitely tell them, you have to work towards getting to work for a company that has a segment to where you can be put out there more.
How do you approach, doing a TV taping rather than, on just a normal indie event?
I take every one of my matches very seriously, because, one, I can always get hurt, or, it's no matter where I go, you have to put an impression. So even if I do a high school gym, there are people there, that know, everybody knows everybody. So if you go and you treat this school gym show like nothing, well, I remember her, she didn't seem like she really cared. But my TV tapings, I definitely have a different day. No matter what show I do, I get up, I go to the gym, I have me a good breakfast, and, I watch tapings. But usually on TV days, I do go to the gym, I get me a good breakfast. If I know who I'm working, I will watch their tape pretty much all morning. So that's definitely, studying that is really good for me. And then, we're early birds, we're at the ring early, we're getting there, we're going over stuff for the match. I'm definitely more nervous on TV, I would say, because, you only have so many minutes. This stuff is put to where anybody can see it. It's not like the other shows where if you mess up, maybe nobody ever have recorded it. But it's definitely different. I put a little more emphasis on my TV days than most.
All right. Now, continuing on the topic of EPW, you almost won the women's division title in a triple threat match against Diana Taylor and Jennifer Justice. You had the 3 count. What happened?
With that match, it's definitely one of those things where it was disappointing. For me, I feel like, I have put in the work to be their champion, and I will be their champion one day, which I'm currently working on that right now. It's one of those things where when she got it, it was like, that should have been me, but also, she makes a really great champion too, but we're not going to let her keep it for as long as she's hoping for.
Well, I mean, it was a triple threat match that ended in a disqualification.
Yes.
Triple threat matches are no disqualification.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was one of those things too where the ending was like, how did this happen?
So, it's safe to say that your eyes are on Jennifer because, she's gotten some questionable victories over you over the last couple of months.
I would actually have to disagree with you on that. I'm not focused on her because she's not better than me. She is every match that she's ever won over me, she has cheated. So, I don't even take it as she beat me. It's kind of one of those things like she cheated for what she got. So she never really beat me. And then, my eyes are on whoever has that belt, especially because I know that I've put in the work and I know that I would be a great women's champion for that company. So my eyes are for sure on the champion, but I do get what you're saying. It's one of those things where, if I ever do run into her, it won't happen again.
Right. Well, obviously, the future is bright. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've only been wrestling for 1 year, correct?
Correct. About, a year and a half. TV, about a year, yes.
So how have you kind of been measuring your progress from, the beginning to year one?
So when I first started, I was like, this is going to be impossible because you read social media and you see these girls who are, extremely young and they're, already so high on the spectrum. And so when I knew that I was going the right way was definitely being invited to WrestleCade. Because, you see so many, like, there was not one talent at WrestleCade that didn't deserve to be there. I met so many people, I got to meet Mandy Rose, which, by the way, I absolutely love her. I think she was so talented and she still is, I really hope she gets back into it. But getting to, be around those people and them treat you equally was like when I knew that I was on the right way to have, Mandy Rose talk about my appearance in a good way and all this stuff and getting to meet all these girls and getting to be there with girls that I have worked before and the girls that I want to work in the future is when I knew I was going the right way, when I was invited to be around those girls.
I mean, obviously WrestleCade is, a big event, and I believe November.
Yes, to add to that, I also was asked to be on Ladies Night Out for title match that next night. So I got to make a debut on title match for that. So that was also kind of when I knew I was like, I'm going the right direction. They want me on title match, which is a really big company. So it was, really a big deal.
What did that kind of mean to you to be on, a Ladies Night Out? Obviously, an all-female, event.
There's not many, places that do all-female, and I would say, I don't necessarily prefer it over the other. I just really enjoyed it because it's like a moment when these 50 girls can be in a locker room by themselves, and it's solely that the women are making the whole show because, almost every TV show, there's only one women's match. Right. So getting there to be that the whole show is nothing but women is really empowering. And I think it's really great that there are companies that are starting to do that now. And getting to be there with these huge stars and them speaking to me and, taking time out of their day, to acknowledge me was a really big deal. And, I drove over 10 hours to that event. So, to know that paid off is what, helped too. So.
Now, talking about names that you've wrestled, Marina Tucker, well-respected name on the independents, well-known. Can you tell us about your experience wrestling her?
Yes, I got to work Marina for Liberty Pro. She was really great. She's a really sweet girl, and she can work well. I respect someone that really prioritizes my safety and she was one of them, and she was so sweet to me. And, you expect someone that's, on a big company like WoW to, not really, be on the same level with you as far as like headspace and stuff, but she was, and she was super sweet. She respected me and I respected her, so I would love to work her again.
Another name you competed against in Liberty Pro is NWA roster member Rylee Rockett in front of the show. Can you tell us about that match?
Yeah, so Rylee Rockett, I got to experience time with her too, working there. She's a really sweet girl. It's good to experience different types of wrestlers. And she was one of those. She's really tough, and she's got a really strong personality. And she kept me safe in the ring, and she's on NWA now,
right?
And so that's a really it was like, wow, I got to wrestle somebody that's contracted with NWA, so it's a really big deal too. And I take it that way, like I did Marina. They know that they've worked me, they know that I've kept them safe, so hopefully that pays off.
Now, Liberty Pro is a little bit different than your normal independents. It's custom matches. There's no crowd in those matches. It's just, you and who you're wrestling. Right. How did you feel about, competing, in front of no crowd, essentially a pandemic-esque environment?
I owe a lot to Liberty. I was a very new wrestler and very nervous. And, getting to work with different age women and different types of wrestlers and different companies and with no crowd, it builds your confidence because, you don't have a whole room screaming to where, you don't have to show so much emotion and stuff. Now it's silent and, you have to put your own kind of, emphasis on the match. So it taught me a lot, and, getting to know when to do something, when not to do something. So it definitely helped me a lot. Like, a lot of my matches are good because of that.
Is there a way you approach those kind of matches, custom matches, differently than you would like a TV taping, like for EPW?
Yes. Those are kind of those where, if you do really mess up, we can start over, and there's more of, you can be a little more relaxed. You're just in there to take care of each other, and it be just a few minutes, or it can be as long as 20 minutes. So it helps your body. You learn how to do different lengths of matches and stuff. And so I'm definitely more comfortable there because it's just me and the girl. So for sure.
Okay. Now, can you tell us about the advantages and disadvantages of being in the same profession as your significant other?
The disadvantages and advantages. The advantages are definitely the traveling and the support. We travel everywhere together. And so when we have these 10-hour long trips and stuff, he's learned to put up with me, that's for sure, more than me put up with him. Getting to experience it with somebody and there's not many people that find somebody that they can, do the same profession and enjoy it. There's so many people that do it, and it's just not the same. So it's definitely an advantage, to be able to love each other and just support each other. And when, somebody's on their high, to be proud of them and be there for them. And I definitely think that's one. And, he did train me. So I owe a lot of that to him as well. So he knows my quirks, and he knows about me more than anybody. So he knows in certain matches what to talk to me about, stuff like that. So that helps. Disadvantages. I wonder if he's listening to me. Disadvantages? Gosh, I don't know. I pretty much, I love the fact that we do it together. So I mean, the only disadvantage is we don't get to work in the ring live as much. You know, he's a guy, so we don't get to really, I guess my disadvantage is also a good thing. You know, we don't really get to do a whole lot of matches together as far as other than training. So that would really be my only disadvantage.
Is that something you're looking forward to? Is to square up in the ring against him, face the you know, in a competitive manner?
Yeah, well, you know, I would much more rather, you know, me and him getting to partner up and tag against somebody. You know, I've gotten to do a couple, you know, where we're in a
Mixed tag.
intergender match, and you know, I'm against him and another girl, and that's always fun too. But I'm looking forward to, you know, getting to do things with him. We've got to do a little bit. I think we could take it a lot further though.
Okay. Now, I mean, being in the ring with your trainer in, you know, an actual match, is that like a way to kind of gauge how far you've progressed in your wrestling career?
Yes, for sure. You know, getting to being in the ring with someone that's trained you, and you know, you can keep up, or you know, anything, the things you used to not could be able to do, like call a match and stuff, now you can do, and you know, you're being told that this, you know, you're doing better at this. It's for sure. Like, I can tell that I have grown.
Okay. I think it's a good segue into our next segment, and that is Maddie's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
A bizarre road story. Well, we just recently went to Indiana for a company, and it was a complete blizzard. We got there and woke up the next day, and the show was canceled because we had like 9 to 10 inches of snow. It was -11, and we're from Mississippi, so we were freezing to death. It was -11, and we walked to a Culver's and got us some food and went right back to the hotel. And then on the way home, a 9-hour drive took about 13 because of how slow we had to go.
Damn.
Yeah, it was.
Does not sound fun. Right. You know, I'm always I have interviewed many of wrestlers, and they've had interesting encounters that some may call extraterrestrial or paranormal. Have you ever had an extraterrestrial or paranormal experience?
Can you reword that for me?
Have you ever had an encounter with a ghost or an alien?
Ghost. I don't think necessarily that in realistically, I've never had an encounter with a ghost. I'm extremely afraid of the dark, and my boyfriend would tell you that. Like, I'm afraid of my own shadow. So if you asked me, I'd be like, yeah, I've seen a bunch of ghosts. But realistically, no. I do believe in them, but I haven't really seen one. But I am afraid of the dark, so.
Alright, and no alien encounters either?
Not no aliens yet. I mean, I really hope not to ever, but not yet.
Oh, no. Alright. You know, on top of pro wrestling, you compete in the rodeo, barrel racing, I believe. Can you tell us about that experience?
The rodeo experience. I've had horses all my life, and I rodeoed now for, I would say, about 6 years. It's a whole different world than wrestling. Like, it doesn't even compare. You know, you get a high from wrestling, I get a high from rodeoing. My horses are my babies, and so that world is completely different. You know, it's not, you know, obviously you have to physically be in shape and you have to know how to ride and stuff, but it's completely different. It's like, instead of it being like you, it's your horse. So it's there's a ton of money put into it, a ton of time. You're traveling just as much as you are with wrestling with that as well. So it's a whole different aspect, but it's a part of me, so I really do love it.
Is there anything that you found that you took out of rodeo that's helped you in pro wrestling or vice versa?
I would definitely say, it's the similarity that I would say I have to use is, when you see these big wrestlers and like they're these big companies and you're not, you're terrified to even meet them. It's the same way at rodeo. You see these girls that, their career is rodeo and they're on these really nice horses. And so I've learned to use that with, it's okay. There's always going to be somebody that is better than you and bigger than you. And so you have to learn how to be your best and meet these people.
Well, you've competed in these competitions, and you are actually very competitive. I believe you got third place in a competition.
Yes, I did. I do several like big events, and I do some rodeos, and we usually do pretty well.
And I mean, how do you train for something like that?
It's more your horse. So, definitely weeks coming up to a rodeo. I have an arena not far from my house. We have to travel and we have to work the pattern, for several days and, get my horse in shape for that. Especially with me being out of town and wrestling so much, I have to get my horse in shape, weeks before. And then, myself, you have to pack, you have to make sure you have all your stuff. You have to make sure, that you're in the best shape too, because you have to be physically prepared to do it as well.
Okay. Now, can you tell us about meeting pro wrestling legend Chavo Guerrero?
He was really nice to me. I got to meet him during my boyfriend got to be on an episode actually wrestling in the Young Rock series, and then I got to be an extra for the Young Rock. And so he was there when we were going over some scenes, and I got to meet him. He was really nice. He complimented my gear, and it was kind of cool to meet a legend like that.
That's really awesome. You was an extra on the Young Rock.
Yes.
What was that experience like, being on, a TV production?
It was really cool. It was a long day. You don't realize that they film every scene at least 100 times. So it was long. And then getting to see him, he had a cowboy gimmick for that. And, they covered all his tattoos and they shaved his beard. And he was a whole different human. And getting to watch him reenact those scenes over and over and see what they did to him. He got his own little bust, his name on it. That was really cool. And they made him feel really special that day, so that was cool to experience with him.
That's awesome. I actually interviewed Jack Talos, who was the Undertaker on Young Rock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right. Supergirl fan?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Are you a fan of Supergirl?
I am a fan of Supergirl, for sure. We are big Marvel people, and DC and all of it, and I'm a big fan. I really like if I had to get rid of what I was now, I would just honestly pick Supergirl to be who I was.
Well, did you watch the series on CW?
We did watch the series.
How did you feel about that, and compared to the movie with the Flash?
I think I liked it better because it got more into her. When they get their own series, you can get more details about them alone.
How did you feel like she did as Supergirl?
I think she did a fantastic job. Supergirl is pretty and strong at the same time, and I think she portrayed both of those very well.
Now, what is your favorite Marvel movie, and what is your favorite DC movie?
My favorite Marvel movie, definitely Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite. Like Guardians, Rocket is my spirit animal, so definitely Guardians of the Galaxy, and then DC. I'm way more of a Marvel person, but let's see. Probably Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Now, are you just watching the movies and the series, or do you actually read the comic books as well?
Usually just the movies and series. My boyfriend reads a lot of the comics, and I've scanned through one before, but I'm really more of a movie person.
Fair enough. Well, there was they just announced a new Supergirl for the DCMU. Um, were you able to see who she was, and how did you feel about it?
Yes, let me actually look at the picture of her. Let me try to see.
Fire up that Google machine.
Yes, I think they picked a really good. I think she'd be perfect for it.
I agree. I think it's a lot better than the other girl that was in the Flash movie, who
Yeah.
did not look like Supergirl whatsoever. So yeah, I think if there's a superhero movie with her as Supergirl, I'm more likely to see it.
Right.
Alright. Now can you tell us about winning the softball state championship?
Oh goodness, I could talk about this all night long. I won two years in a row,
Back to back.
and then the year I graduated, they went back and got a third. It was really great. I played softball since I was little, so and I went to that school since I was in the 4th grade. And we have a really hard coach, but she's really great. And getting to win that was awesome. And I got 2 huge rings actually right behind me. So,
we've been talking about pro wrestling, but it legitimately seems like you had some type of talent in softball. Did you ever consider, pursuing that?
I did at one point, and that was one of those things that I've done since I was little. And with softball, you can go to a college, but that's about the extent of it. So there's nothing more you can do than go into college and playing ball. So I kind of put that out of my mind after that.
I mean, you could always take a trip to Japan. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, what did that kind of mean to you, winning back-to-back championships?
It meant a lot because there's not many things in high school you do that you want to remember. So getting to win that and kind of saying you were a reason that it happened was really great.
Okay. Now, you are the American Badi. When I hear that, I have to wonder, Kid Rock fan?
Kid Rock fan?
Yeah.
I would say so.
Is that where, because obviously American Badass, American Badi, any, connection
Yeah.
there?
I would say, essentially the question, did I get it from Kid Rock? No, but I do like him, and I think a lot of his songs pertain to what I picked. So I think you hit that spot on.
Alright. Then, let's get into the colossal question. Let's say that they're making a movie about you. It's a big production. Lots of producers, directors, writers have signed on to do it. Unlimited budget. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Oh gosh, okay. Definitely, we would have to start off strong with Britney Spears. Let me see. Definitely Britney Spears' Womanizer
Okay.
would be one. And then Black Sheep by Dorothy is also another one.
Okay.
And then, Raise Hell by Dorothy too.
Okay. Can I go in from extreme to extreme? Britney
Yeah.
Spears to Dorothy. Very different music. But I dig it
Yeah.
for sure. Alright. Do you lock it in?
What do you mean by that?
Do you confirm that those are your 3 picks? You're locking them in.
Yes.
Okay. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays Maddie? And you can't say yourself because you are legally obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
If I could pick another wrestler, I would cast Molly Holly as me.
Okay.
Or I love Toni Storm, but I feel like she's a little more badass than me. So
Hey,
definitely one of those.
we can get Toni Storm to play Maddie. I mean, she is an actress now.
She is. She's a damn good actress.
Yes.
So
I'm not sure if she creative differences if she wants it to be a silent movie, but we could
she
debate
might.
we could debate that another time. Alright. Now every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story, and who would play them?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, for my boyfriend, I definitely think I see a lot. Would definitely Bret Hart could play him.
Okay.
Can I pick 2 people that would represent him?
Sure.
Then you'd have to do Dax Harwood for sure. And then who would play? One of my good friends. Who plays WandaVision? Elizabeth Olsen.
Okay. One more?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Okay, but I believe we have 2 people you picked. So one more?
Say Bret Hart, Dax Harwood, and Elizabeth.
Okay.
For sure.
Solid picks, and it sounds like a great movie, and you can pre-order the tickets now. Alright, onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Well, me and my boyfriend were just talking about this. I think it should be illegal, but he swears up and down I ate it one night and liked it, and I don't remember that. So I definitely think it should be illegal.
Okay, so what kind of repercussions are we talking about here if it's illegal?
It should be illegal to be made. Like, they should not be able to do that.
Okay.
It just doesn't belong.
So if you make pineapple on pizza, you're getting locked up. You're going to jail.
Yes.
Okay. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Spirit Pokemon?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I don't know anything about Pokemon. The little yellow guy. That's the only one I know.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. That can be my spirit Pokemon because that's the only one I know.
Alright, fair enough. We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
Acronym for thug?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I could spell it out for you if you need.
So you're asking me what thug means, like the letters in thug.
Yes.
Is it not truly humble under God?
It is not.
Oh.
T
Oh.
is for terrible. H
Terrible?
is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for jail. 'Cause a thug can't spell.
Ah, that's funny.
Yes. We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show, trying to keep the memory alive. Weirdest question will be asked on a wrestling interview. Hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Raw? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Raw.
Would I consider wrestling a rock?
Yes.
No. Absolutely not.
Why not? I mean, this Rock has a title.
Well, it's because like if you're literally meaning a rock, there's been so many cases where wrestlers have wrestled things other than other wrestlers, and it's just kind of like, for me, it just makes wrestling look silly. So I would not wrestle a rock.
Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh gosh.
Yes. And he did not win.
Yeah. Well, that's sad.
Yeah, they tied. Alright. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years. As far as wrestling goes, in 5 years, I hope to be contracted somewhere for a great company that will take care of me and, be in the best physical shape that I can be in, which I always think you can get better as far as that goes. So I hope to be contracted somewhere that's taking really good care of me, and I hope to be in the best physical shape I can be.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about?
I have got a match for EPW where I wrestled a girl named just Jody, and I think that was one of my matches where I showed, especially physically, the talent in the ring.
What? That was more recently, no?
Yes.
What was the number on that episode? Do you know?
I can actually find out real fast. Let me see. That way they can go and they can watch this. That would be episode 121.
Okay. And I will grab that match from YouTube, and I will put a link to it in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed round, a bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Bret Hart.
Worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler? Oh gosh. Definitely Sammy Guevara.
Okay. You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Rhea Ripley.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
One more time.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Anyone's entrance music. I think I'd pick Rhea Ripley again.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Very important.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
That's great.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit. It has seeds.
What? Oh.
Tomato logic. New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Oh gosh, I don't think I understand that question either.
When you're wearing trunks, how much butt cheek should show?
Just a little.
Like 10%?
10, yeah, about 20.
20%. Okay. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
You are very welcome. I had a great time.
Absolutely. And once again, where can we find things, all things American Badi on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
And people can DM you for merchandise.
Yes. And I will post anytime that I get anything new.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Uncle Money. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at WrestlinGwithe, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Okay, Maddie, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Okay.
For our race special guest, Madi The American Badi, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.